Okay, my friend. So, and some fascinating things have just dropped. I saw this thing from Chuck Farrar. He's a Navy SEAL, keeps good tabs on what's going on the ground in Ukraine. Just dropped an hour ago, and Greg hasn't seen this yet, but I was talking to him just before that, and we're going to talk about Pokrovsk. So. As you know what's going on at Pokrovsk, you know it's like the hottest part of the battlefield. So I'm going to read some parts of this from Chuck Farrar, and Greg, you can react to things as you see fit, and then you tell me or you tell the audience what you were telling me about Syrskyi and Pokrovsk, and we'll get into that here. Okay, so
Well,
Chuck Farrar, by the way, welcome. Thank you for.
thank you. This is going to be very interesting because I haven't heard it, and I have the latest from the general staff on the truth about Pokrovsk from what Ukraine army is saying. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see
Yeah,
what we got.
and Greg's on the road, so he's being kind enough to pull over to do this video. So thank you very much, Greg. I greatly appreciate
Well,
that.
you're welcome. I was in my Discord last night, and I was in there conversing with people that are on my Discord server, and they says, "Greg, can you please tell us maybe tomorrow or Monday about Pokrovsk and the
Yeah.
front line?" So this works out perfectly. Thank
I,
you.
I di- I didn't really do much on the front line either this morning, so let's get into this.
Let's nail it. Hmm.
Chuck Farr, again, Navy SEAL, said, "Good morning. This is your 7 December daily brief for the Pokrovsk AO. I guess it's area of operation.
Hmm.
In the grinding battle for Pokrovsk, Russian troops now control roughly half to 60% of the eastern Ukrainian city, focusing on its southeastern districts. A relentless 21-month Russian offensive escalated following the fall of nearby Avdiivka. Now, we all know that. Like, that's Avdiivka fell, and then they started moving toward Pokrovsk, and it's 21 months. Okay. Fragmented gray zones where scattered contacts continue. Okay, this was really fascinating. I haven't been able to. Oh, you're about to say something. Go ahead.
I am. First of all, I would like to say up until this point, um, because I am on the road, I'd be showing maps right now. Southeastern portion of Pokrovsk, 50 to 60%. He's accurate right there so far. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
He's accurate.
So the next paragraph floored me, and I haven't been able to independently verify it just yet. Again, this just dropped an hour ago. Russian President Vladimir Putin and top military brass, including Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov, proclaimed the city's full liberation earlier this month, the December 1 through 2nd, and they did that before that as well. Okay, this next line. Gerasimov has been relieved of command and has been accused by state-run media of corruption. He has not been publicly seen since. Okay, now I haven't been able to verify that. This could be, and everything that I've looked at regular news and I looked at like AI. He hasn't been publicly relieved of command, if that is the case, but he is arguing that this has happened. Whether it's just squirreled away or it's not public or whatever, I just don't know yet. So take it with a grain of salt. That's what Chuck Farrar is saying. Gerasimov hailed.
As of 5 minutes ago, when I made sure I talked to my buddies in Ukraine to make sure I was giving the most accurate information, I have not heard that.
Yeah.
Additionally, I can also say that with full assurance, Gerasimov was seen the day before the Witkoff meeting when Putin was supposedly meeting with Gerasimov. And I feel fairly confident that my phone would be blowing up right now if Gerasimov was relieved.
I think so too. I'm saying take it with a grain of salt. He just said this, and so this
Well, maybe he knows something we don't know, but
maybe
I
he
doubt
does,
I
but
doubt it.
I again I have not been able to independently confirm that. So I'm telling you, I haven't been able to independently confirm that. I trust the source, but at the same time, I want to double check. Okay, Gerasimov hailed across as Moscow's
Wait a
most
second.
significant
Wait a
victory.
second.
Go ahead.
Sorry. This is the same source that says we fully control Pokrovsk. It's fallen. Is the same source that says the general's gone. So which I'm
No,
talking
no, no,
about is
no,
the
no, no,
Kremlin
no. Hold on.
itself.
Gerasimov is the one that said that we fully control Pokrovsk,
So is
right?
Putin. So is Putin. What I'm saying is it's Russia that says, forget Gerasimov. It's Russia that says we fully control Pokrovsk. Okay. It's also, we're getting the rumors out of Russia that Gerasimov has been let go.
Well, I'm not sure where he's getting this from particularly.
Okay.
This is Chuck Farrar saying
Right.
this. I don't know what
Well,
exactly is going on. So it's
we'll
an
see.
early report, fog of war. We just don't know, but that's what he's saying. Okay, Gerasimov hailed Pokrovsk as Moscow's most significant victory in nearly 2 years. Despite Gerasimov's disappearance, Russian media has broadcast footage of Russian soldiers in southern neighborhoods. Incredibly, narrators claim occupation officials are initiating administrative steps such as issuing passports to the several dozen Ukrainian civilians
All
hiding in
right.
what's left of
Pause.
their
Pause.
apartments.
Pause. 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 Let me tell you guys the real truth here. Okay. Right today, there has been 27 battles in Pokrovsk, physically marked by General Syrskyi. 21 have concluded without Russia gaining 1 inch. In fact, Ukraine has made some positive pushbacks. As we are recording this, there are 6 active fighting battles, urban, happening inside Pokrovsk right this very minute. There is a confirmation that 12 people from Pokrovsk area have received Russian passports. But that happened weeks ago when Russia took these 12 people that were waiting around for Putin to come save them like Jesus, and they took them all the way to Melitopol and gave them a passport. It's not real stories. There's nobody inside Pokrovsk handing out Russian passports. You step out in the street of Pokrovsk, you're a dead person. So this is all just the fog of war. It's the same thing like Gerasimov's gone. They're giving passports away. This is why Syrskyi,
Okay, before you get to
Zelensky,
Syrskyi, hold
I'm
on.
sorry, this is just why they're saying we're not giving up our territory.
Okay,
It's
so before that, listen to this.
woo, that's
The next
crazy.
line was these charades, talking about the passports being issued. These charades are echoed by Russian bots on X. So he's clearly saying this is not a thing. Kyiv rejects these assertions as mere propaganda, and he talks about like what has happened here. On December 7 December alone, these raids eliminated 110 Russian soldiers, 83 confirmed killed, kind of to what you're saying.
Mhm.
While fog provides tactical cover for Ukrainian movements and Russian glide bombs target Ukrainian supply lines, yet these efforts have largely failed as Ukraine has solidified the northwest defenses, thwarting Russian attempts at encirclement. And
One,
just a,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say 100% confirmed, but that makes me now start to wonder. I want to hang up the call with you and call my buddies in Ukraine and ask them about Gerasimov, because everything else that you're reporting from Chuck Farrar here is actually spot on accurate.
Yeah.
So maybe
Okay.
he knows something we don't know.
Just look at the enormity of Pokrovsk, and then you tell me what you were telling me earlier, or tell the audience what you were telling me earlier. Since 1 December, Russian casualties in the area are estimated at 800 to 1,000 personnel in urban areas alone. Russian main battle tank losses 4 to 6, primary T-72 and T-80 models filled by Javelin missiles and first-person view drones. That's how they're getting them. Uh, Russian infantry fighting vehicles and armored personnel carriers 8 to 12 destroyed in urban ambushes. Border tallies since Advika's capture in February 17th, 2024, paint a stark picture. Now, again, the Ukrainians want to be in Pokrovsk. The Russians want to be in Pokrovsk. They both want to be there to have it out. I mean, like, that's what this amounts to, right? Paint a stark picture. Russians killed and wounded range from 170,000 to 250,000 in this region. That's that's what he's saying. Like that's the enormity of Pokrovsk. Okay, these
I don't,
losses.
you know, so let's make sure that everybody's understanding. When we talk about the you're stating the enormity of Pokrovsk, we're not actually talking about a geographical size that is enormous, but we're talking a strategic place that is
Oh,
enormous.
because
Now,
it's just been a meat grinder. Yeah. Yeah. 170,000 to 250,000 casualties, incorporating 16,000 to 47,000 from the Avdiivka siege itself. These losses are approximately 10 times the total Russian losses in a decade of conflict in the Soviet-Afghan war. Like when you put it in that perspective, whoa, like that's crazy. 25% of total Russian casualties in Russia-Ukraine war fell in the Pokrovsk area of operations. Okay, that's the end of what he had to say. Now, to your comments about this, and then to what you were telling me earlier about
mhm.
Syrskyi.
Well, first of all, let's say this. You just described why Vladimir Putin will not stop the war. Now
Mhm,
he's got free reign pretty much. You know, we're negotiating, there are talks going on. He's free to wage war. He wants to come into his New Year's address and spout rhetoric about the war. So if the war ended, those truths have to start coming home to Russia.
mhm,
That's going to create a problem, and they will then have to work for damage control, because as long as the war is going on, and even Ukrainians many times, if you have a family member that, for example, is captured, You don't really know anything. So you're
Mhm.
like, I'm waiting on information. I don't have confirmation that, I've lost my family member. They've been killed. All the commander knows is they're not there. So they could have been captured. They could have been, you know, 200, 300. I don't know. So you now multiply that by hundreds of thousands for Russia. So as long as the war's going on, they don't have to be, I mean, it's going to be really direct, but shipping bodies home. They're not worried about the wounded returning. You do get the propaganda where he goes and visits two or three guys. That's
Mhm.
that's the reality of it. So this is one of the key reasons here. These enormous numbers of why the war must continue on. Now, Syrskyi put out an operational statement last night and again today, and he was just confirming that don't listen to the rhetoric. We are holding Pokrovsk. So very
When he says
accurate.
the rhetoric, you're talking about Russian propaganda
The
saying that they
Russian
bagged it
propaganda.
a couple
Y-
times. They've said it. Gerasimov has said it at least twice. Putin says it again and again.
Yeah, and of course, Putin then tells, you got me wondering here, man. Putin tells everybody, this is what my field generals have reported to me. I've just met with them personally. We hold Pokrovsk. So let's say, or let's just speculate here for one moment, although I hate speculating. We always want to be factual for our communities.
Well, look, I laid it out as Chuck Farrar, who's a legitimate source, has said this. I have not been able to confirm it. I'm looking to confirm it. The best I can determine is it's not been done officially. If it has been done, so we'll wait. We'll come back to it
Well,
in
the,
a
the
little bit.
bottom line is then it's a scapegoat situation because Putin did repeat the Gerasimov talking point that we hold completely Pokrovsk. And once again, I remind the world that we're ready to take journalists there from anywhere and take you into Pokrovsk and show you that we hold that city. So if it's now being validated, and this, listen, guys
I'm
out
not
there.
saying it's validated.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
I'm,
it is
I'm talking,
breaking and it's
I'm
fog
talking
of war.
conceptually here. Listen, it comes down to this. You have to choose your sources, what you're going to believe.
Mhm.
So, are you going to believe Zelensky and Syrskyi, or are you going to believe Putin and Gerasimov?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
That's what it comes down
Now,
to.
again, for the record, what Sierski said was,
Syrskyi says we are holding and actually pushing back 21 battles today. They didn't even move an inch or a meter. We actually held. Six are still ongoing. And these are actual urban street battles that have happened in this 24-hour period. And just like Farrar said, that southeast side, yes, Russia's got their hands on that. But as far as that northeast, central, and then over toward Mirnograd, no, they don't have us. We're not encircled. We don't have thousands of guys there that are getting ready to be captured. So it's once again, you talked about fog in the atmosphere and fog in the weather and the fog of war. It's tough to determine, but there's going to be a lot of narratives coming out nonstop about Pokrovsk.
mhm,
Why? Because it is a key logistical hub for Ukraine or Russia. Whoever's holding Pokrovsk, it's like you have a bulkhead there because once you get past Pokrovsk, and when I say that, if Russia was to advance past Pokrovsk, it gets very rural, very, very small villages.
mhm,
We do have good defense and fortification lines built, but they are back quite a few kilometers.
mhm.
And it could be a significant territorial movement for Russia. So this is
I'm wondering
why.
how much they're gonna be able to do with open fields. And the reason I say that is because when they've done open fields before, drone warfare was not nearly as advanced as it is now.
That's a
And I
great
think it's
point.
gonna be even more challenging now to move across open fields and take that land, like seize it in some kind of blitz. So even if they do get past, and remember, the first time I started talking about Pokrovsk was not this past August, but the August before that. And I'm like, Greg, what's going on? I mean, I see the movement. I like they're going to get to Pokrovsk, and Greg, can General Winter
Yeah.
get here before that? Remember those conversations? I mean,
And of course, I've been in Pokrovsk many times, but I even have a photo. I've used it on thumbnails. In fact, I may use it on this thumbnail for this video, where I'm actually in Pokrovsk, and over my right hand shoulder is a billboard that says "Evacuate now" with the phone number to call. That picture was taken a year ago,
yeah,
and Ukraine's still holding. In fact, that spot where I was standing, I won't tell where it was, but that spot for sure, Ukraine's holding, and that was inside Pokrovsk. So yeah, the fog of war there is difficult to determine. So ultimately, guys, you choose your sources. So I'm interested now to investigate, this Gerasimov information, but everything else that you were quoting from Chuck is accurate. And I think confirmed also by Ukraine. So if you've got multiple voices confirming that, and we know that Russia spends everything for their advantage, but it still comes down to the same thing. That they want to continue to wage war. Um, they see the United States right now really not knowing. Nobody knows what the United States is going to do next. So this gives them opportunity to keep up the pressure, and this is what we have. I will tell you this, just last couple of things here. We're focused on Pokrovsk here, but Syrskyi also did report, and he says, "Listen, Russia's changing their tactics critically.
Yep.
We have our frontline battles. We have Syrskyi, we've got Konstantinivka, we've got Pokrovsk, we've got the Zaporizhia line." And he did say also, we're holding that Zaporizhia southern line very good right now, which is important because Zaporizhia is a huge city. But when you look at all of those areas, all of those front lines, Syrskyi said, even with all of that, Russia's tactics adjusting now, where they truly are going after our energy
Yep.
infrastructure,
Exactly.
not like before. They really are trying to cripple us. And in addition to that, they have upped their attacks on our rail infrastructure. I refer you guys, and I don't have a map right now I would show you, but it's just south of Kyiv, southeast a little bit, there, southwest a little bit. There's a town called Festiv. In Russian, it's Festov. In Ukrainian, it's Festiv.
I was
And
hitting last night,
it's
or
been
night before last.
2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
They went after the rail and they went after the energy. Last night they hit hard at Ukrainian refinery capabilities in Kremenchuk. Kremenchuk is a city down there on the Dnipro River that's basically in the center of Ukraine and a very core city for transport, for movement of supply, both military and civilian. And
For
if
viewers who don't know, it's halfway between Dnipro and Kyiv.
That's correct, on the
Yep.
river there. So, the bottom line is this: if Syrskyi's talking about it and he's saying, "Hey, we're doing good in Pokrovsk. It's tough, but we're doing good," then that's what we listen to.
Yep.
And if Syrskyi's going, "But pay attention, they're really going after our energy," and this makes sense. Zelensky's changing everybody in the energy leadership because to work not only for restoration of energy, but also to protect critical services even better. I can tell you at my apartment in Khmelnytsky, my buddy messaged me this morning. He says, "Greg, we got 9 hours of power today. Just want you to know, 15, we will be off." So, it just gives people a real look. It's affecting Ukraine everywhere. So we'll see. But Pokrovsk is the most important place in all of Ukraine right now as far as the frontline battle. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, Greg. Hey, thanks for
Thank you.
stopping your travels in order to spend some time with us, and safe journeys on the road. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
guys.
taking some time.
Appreciate you, and thank you for helping. And all you guys in my Discord last night were saying, "Greg, can you talk about Pokrovsk?" There you go. You got it. Thank you. Thanks, Prof.
All right.
And thanks, Chuck. And guys, by the way, in the comments, if any of you have seen a link or an article or anything about
Yeah,
Gerasimov,
share that,
please put
please.
it in the comments because,
It could be nothing, but it comes from a really reputable source. He's a Key
well,
Post correspondent, former Navy SEAL. He's plugged in. So
everything else you read, he was spot on for
yeah,
Pokrovsk. So
yeah.
it makes me wonder. I will be making a phone call as soon as we hang up.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right,
man.
buddy. Thank you.